Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Identity in 15, powered by WSO2 Identity Server. So, today we are going to discuss how risk based authentication can be achieved through WSO2 Identity Server Analytics. So, I'm Dinali Dabarera, a Senior Solutions Engineer for IMWSO2. So today let's talk about what is risk and what is risk-based authentication needs. So the risk of an authentication request can be calculated in different ways. So we can calculate it from an output from a risk calculating algorithm, or we can calculate it from a criticality of a system, and also from the firewall status of a device. But in all these cases, why risk-based authentication is important is because based on the calculated risk, we can step up or restrict the authentication flow and give high security to it based on this risk-based authentication. So let's get started. So today I'm going to demonstrate how WSO2 Identity Server Analytics can be used to publish the transactional information and assess users' risk. And based on that risk calculated, we are trying to analyze the transaction history and the risk that is calculated to it. So we use adaptive in the scenario, and we are trying to uh, step up the authentication flow. So today in this scenario, I'm considering a banking business use case where the banking application needs some additional steps to be prompted when user tries to log in after doing a transaction of more than $10,000. So this is the basic user case that I'm trying to achieve it. So this for this demonstration, we need like few setups to be up and running. So one is the WSO2 Identity Server 5.10.0, and the other one is the Identity Server Analytics 5.8.0. So both these servers are free and open source. You can go to our website and download it. And normally, like we are giving WSO2 Identity Server Analytics Server free of charge as a complimentary package with the subscription for WSO2 Identity Server 5.10.0. So along with these two servers, we need a sample application to be tested. So right now I'm using Pickup Dispatch, and also I am having a transaction REST API, which will give the input to the analytics server. So let's get started. So let's start with the analytics configurations first. So I'm having analytics server up and running. So in the analytics server, we have two servers to up. So one is the worker node, so which captures the events which publish from the other transaction events. So we need to up the worker node, and also we need to up the editor. So I'm running the two components in these two different tabs. So the editor is the place where we load the editor. So when you're running the two servers, make sure you need to port offset one server. So right now my identity server is running on 9443, and my identity server is running on 9443, and my analytics server is running on 9444. But the editor is running on 9390. So if you go to this location, so you can see the editor is running. So here I'm using a CD script which we have given in our tutorial or the documentation. So I have provided the link in the description, so you can check it out. So here, this is a simple Siddhi query, like which have two input streams. So it has the transaction input stream as the input, and it has the a simple input stream as an output. So what the transaction input stream has is, it's just the transaction input stream is a REST API which does the transaction. So it has the username and the transaction as the inputs. So we are using these two inputs in this Siddhi query, and we are calculating the sum of transactions. And if the sum of transaction is greater than 10,000, we are calculating the risk score as 1. If not, it will be 0. And we are sending it to the output stream. So this output stream is captured through this input stream, so which we can find it in this REST API. So if you give the username and capture the input stream, then you can see the so right now my script is not running, so I cannot get the value. So what I have to do is I need to first run the script. Then you can see the script is started successfully. So you can copy the script from the tutorial and paste it here and run it. Then once you run this input stream, you should be able to get the score as 0, because I didn't do any transaction for this right now. So in that case, the risk score is 0. So I will do a transaction of 16,000. So right now I'm doing it. I've done the transaction, and then let's see the value. So then you can get the risk score of 1. So this is the basic thing that we used in our identity server to calculate the risk of this particular user. So let's move on to the identity server configurations. For the identity server configuration, let's check out like how do you configure the analytics server. So for that, you need to go to the resident IDP configurations, and there you can find the analytics engine. So you always can like connect to any other analytics server, but right now I'm connecting to the analytics server which is up and running in 8280. So you make sure like you need to run these on HTTPS, which is secure call. So make sure like you need to add the certificates of each servers to WSO2. Like you need to add the WSO2 identity service certificate so they can trust each other. And also we need to make sure like we need to enable basic authentication in order to like communicate with the analytics server. So here the username and password is the super admin username and password of the analytics server. So basically it's admin. So that's all you need to do. So it's simple and easy. So you can update your resident IDP configuration. Then the other thing you need to do is the configuring the service provider. So I have configured pickup dispatch with the basic authentication with the OpenID Connect protocol. So it is an OAuth application. And in the outbound configuration, we are doing the twist. So right now I'm using the existing template which is provided by adaptive authentication script. So this risk-based template, so this is the same thing. So I'm not doing any changes for that. So here I'm using basic authentication as the first step and the TOTP authentication as the second step. So in the script, what we will do is we are capturing this input stream. So which I showed you here. So we are capturing this same input stream and from value. So if the risk score value is greater than 0, we are giving the step 2. And also in case of failure means if our identity server cannot connect to the analytics server, we consider it as a risk scenario. So in that case also, we are giving the step 2, which is TOTP for strong authentication. So this is the simple script that we have provided. I hope you can clearly understand. So we are capturing the subject from the first step, and based on the risk score, we are stepping up. So that's simply it. So let me, to demonstrate it, let me create a user. So I have, so I'm trying to add a new user. So I'll add a user called Alex. So I'm adding this particular user called Alex. So let's see. So I'm trying to get the Alex risk score. So right now it's 0. So let's see, like, we'll try to log into pickup dispatch application and see how whether he can log in and how many number of steps he will get. So as per the logic, he should only get the basic authentication, because if the analytics server is communicating fine, he should be only getting the risk score of 0. So he should only get the basic authentication. So let's see what it's, yes, it's working fine. So you can double check, like in the identity server. So you can see a log called the risk value is 0. So this is because in the adaptive script, so we have added some logs. So let me give you one tip here as well. Like, if you are working with adaptive authentication, and if you encounter any issue, like, always try to put info logs so that you can debug it easily and figure out where the issue is. So here, like, I have logged the risk score, so I am able to get the risk score, which is 0. So let's do a transaction and see, like, whether it's increasing or not. So I'm trying to, like, I'm doing a transaction of 20,000, which is more than 10,000. So let's see what happened. The transaction is successful. Let's see my local risk score. So it will be 1. So let's see whether I can capture the same in the identity server as well. So what I'm going to do is I'll just log out. I will just log out from this and I'll try to log in again. So in that case, so I'm trying with Alex. So now I'm getting the TOTP. Let's check out the risk score. So the risk score is value 1. So it's successfully capturing the value, which is coming from the analytics server. So for TOTP, like, we have given the out-of-the-box support for TOTP as well. So what you can do is you can scan this QR code from your Google Authenticator, and you will get the TOTP value. So right now my value, so I'm entering the value. Okay, so I'm getting a new one. Yes, so my Alex. Where is my Alexa? So it's 251821. Okay. So I'm able to successfully log in. So this is pretty much simple. So if you follow our documentation, so you can do it correctly. So in our documentation, it talks about the streaming processor. But if you are an existing user who use WSO2 Identity Server Analytics, so you still can use it, because our analytics server has the streaming processor component inbuilt in it. So I just show this demo based on our analytics server. So you can easily do it with the analytics server as well. So both are free and open source, and you can get it downloaded for free. And let's take some questions that you have shared. So I think so there is no questions right now at the moment. So it's easy for you to so our adaptive authentication has a lot of strong features, and like you can do many things with the adaptive authentication. So try this out and let us know whether if you have any questions. So we have an open Slack channel, so which is open 24/7, so you can raise any questions. So our engineers are keenly waiting to address your questions, so feel free to join that as well. And as we have no questions, let's meet again with another episode like this with Identity in 15. So till then, stay safe with COVID situation. Work from home, stay happy, and goodbye.